Piano, Sego, Ani, bonjour. Greetings to all my relations here from my community of Six Nations of the Haudenosaunee Territory to you and to your community. September 30th has been chosen as the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, in part because it signifies the time of year when Indigenous children were taken from our homes and displaced to residential schools. Orange is worn as a sacred reminder that Indigenous identities, names, our languages were stripped from our Ongwehoe people. This is a day to listen to stories like Phyllis Webstad and to honor stories never told from young ones that never made it home. The devastating stories from residential school survivors and their families have ripple effects for generations. And we know colonialism was an intentional act of cultural genocide in Canada that has disrupted the Indigenous family at its core spirit. It has taken, stole, apprehended an entire nation's children from their home and community. And that is with intent cultural genocide. As we continue to build a foundation of truth nearing reconciliation, let us unpack the definition of the word courage. Cindy Blackstock of the Caring Society implores us as social workers to act more courageously, and she's right on. We are very good at the language of equity here in Ontario, but true, courageous work doesn't utter mere words of equality and then mask in action. So over the past year, I've had the honor of working alongside our children's aid societies and our Indigenous well-being agencies who resolve to act in recognition for a shared responsibility for First Nation, Inuit, and Métis children and youth in receipt of service. And this includes not only those within their jurisdiction, but those moving from one jurisdiction to another. We're not doing this work in isolation anymore. This work is relational and it requires allyship because the truth is we work for communities. And so over the past year, we've seen our Joint Director of Service Tables collaborate to understand and apply legal implications of the national standards in service provision to Indigenous children and families pursuant to the Federal Act. The Association of Native Child and Family Services of Ontario and OACAS continue to collaborate on the co-creation of Nurturing Every Heartbeat, a course in customary care. Some agencies are holding regional sessions, inviting Indigenous leaders, chiefs, councils, and their board members to leadership tables to determine action items and changing what consultation looks like. Many agencies are changing policy frameworks, closing a front door to child protection with a refocus to prevention. Agencies are working to grasp the difference between chronic risk and urgent risk, and beginning to operationalize customary care arrangements that are led by the nation. Some agencies are partnering with remote communities in the north to share resources, but more advocacy is needed. Advocacy for kinship is crucial. Advocacy for substantive equality, which glaringly points out that discrimination is embedded and thriving in ministry standards. And much more advocacy is needed in challenging an over-reliance on mandated reporting and its contribution to racial disproportionality in the child welfare system. All who come in contact with the child welfare sector must be knowledgeable in the United Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, including that of the Ministry of Children, Community, and Social Services. And so we simply cannot do this work in isolation. Sustainability of change demands this advocacy, allyship, and courage. Only then will we be able to conceive authentic child welfare redesign. So today, be brave to know that you don't know and depersonalize fear. Because in its truest form, reciprocity, trust, and transparency are only actualized when we co-create our path ahead. And so orange also signifies truth-telling, regeneration, strength, and sunshine in the darkest of days. Agencies from across Ontario are sharing their journeys towards truth and towards reconciliation. I encourage you to listen today and tomorrow. Niawe.